Welcome to the Crystal Mermaid RePHresh program. My name is Jessica and this is George. Over the next 12 weeks, I've created a lifestyle transformation program to help you create more nourishing lifestyle practices. We will be going through tips, tools, education, information, and all sorts of different resources to help us all establish better, more nourishing practices. Why is George here with me? Because at the end of the day, kitty cats are a part of my life. I have 3 of them, and they are a part of my nourishing lifestyle practices. Animals are huge stress relief and intuitive critters that have a lot of great stuff to share with us. So along the way, we'll be exploring all sorts of different alternative, complementary tools and things to look into. And sometimes we'll be guided by crystals, rocks, and gemstones, astrology, different stuff like that. Other times it might be the animal spirits guiding us. So I'm going to put George down for now, but he was bugging to be a part of this right here in the beginning. So I thought I'd bring him in. All right. So welcome, week 1, new beginnings, a fresh start. As we are getting into this program, what is my mission at hand here? I want to bring forth lighter, brighter, intuitive, healthier versions of ourselves over this next 12 weeks as we go through this transformation program. This is a space, this RePHresh page and this group is a space for sharing, listening, and connecting. And how are we doing this? Information, education, awareness, and action. So in addition to these videos, every week I will have exercises, whether that's for the mind, the body, or the spirit, to take with you and put into practice. Very easy, simple things to take with you and put into practice if you so desire. What is my role? I am a facilitator. I'm here to make things easier. I'm also a resource. I'm a tool that's here to help support and guide you through this lifestyle transformation process. I'm not here to sugarcoat. I'm not here to coddle. I'm here to assist with truth and hope that you are affected through real change within yourself. If that's what you desire. It's all about wanting. We may need certain things in our life, but to create new lifestyle practices and establishing nourishing habits, we have to want it at the core and want it for ourselves first. Nobody else. Maybe your children. That is definitely a possibility because that is, so close to the self that to want something enough for someone else like that can make you ultimately want it for yourself. So you are your own best health advocate and you know yourself better than anybody else. While I am a health professional and I am a nutrition expert and do have information and accurate information in a lot of areas that I'll be sharing with you, at the end of the day, you are responsible for yourself and your own actions. So please just keep that in mind. You are the only you. All right. Let's start things off with a little quote here. So there's a 4-time Olympic gold medalist who said, "Don't be afraid if things seem difficult in the beginning. That's only the initial impression. The important thing is to not retreat. You have to master yourself. So that was Olga Korbut. She was an Olympic gold medalist back in the 70s. And that's just reminding us that new beginnings are a fresh start. Commitment is the first step in a journey towards creating and establishing nourishing lifestyle practices. We are committing to consistency. I am committing to consistency by creating a 12-week program and consistently showing up every week for 12 weeks with different tools, tips, resources that have been discussed, and organically following that process along the way. So as I mentioned to you, this is a brand new element of sharing this information in this realm in terms of live video streams, posting, and making the group education session through these technological mediums. So this is all new for me, so I appreciate your patience as we're going through all this and kind of testing it out. But it's all about, taking your time, committing to being consistent, not being perfect. So every week we're going to have opportunities to develop new skills. Not only learn new information, but actually develop new skills and put them into practice, along with getting tips and tools that can help you be the healthiest you can be. Refreshing your life, bringing forth that light from within and shining bright. That's what RePHresh is. Lifestyle transformation, lightening up and letting go. So every week there'll be opportunities to learn essential information about small changes. And those small changes are going to help you hopefully reach your goals over time. But be patient and consistent. Join me every week. You don't have to be here for the live, but watch the video every week consistently. Do the exercise that I give you guys every week consistently. You don't even have to share any of it with anybody, but just do it for yourself and notice changes in yourself, because that's what this is. We are examining ourselves to become more empowered. And that's how we create a lifestyle transformation all the time. One that's sustainable, one that we're maintaining, one that we're constantly transforming, constantly changing, because that change is the only constant. So I encourage you throughout this process to journal or get a Fitbit or find an app for your cell phone or whatever is convenient for you, some means of tracking what you're doing throughout the next 12 weeks. Even, it's the intention is where we're starting with this. So find a convenient place that you can keep track of your goals every week. If you walked any steps, any physical activity you might have done, if you're looking at transforming your life in that way. If you're looking to transform your eating habits through nutrition, food journaling, or an app like MyFitnessPal, kind of tracking what input you're taking, what output of energy you're doing through physical activity and things like that. Just really helps you have a space to make notes and personal, little side things of what might be going on in your life, and just to have a space of awareness that you are physically writing down. I prefer writing like in a journal with pen and paper. I feel like there is a much more conscious connection between something coming out of your brain or your heart and then being written with your hand and ink on a piece of paper. There's no delete button. There's no, for my personal self, there's a lot more consciousness with physically writing things down. And does that help me stay more accountable to myself? Yes, it does. It does, but that's me. So there's a tool for you. If that's something that resonates with you, just find that convenient place that you can keep track of your personal goals in one way or another, and find it in a way that feels good to you. Now, just remember throughout all this that your main focus is striving for consistency, not perfection. Because consistently doing something, consistently practicing something is what makes it stick. Why is this a 12-week program? Most research and what I've learned throughout my education and my experience has shown me that it takes about 3 months to truly establish and then sustain lifestyle habits and changes that stick with you. So sustaining them. So we're doing that 12 weeks because, every week is a reinforcement of the week before. We're building throughout the 12 weeks, and it might take more time than 12 weeks for you to develop those habits. But biologically, we see it takes that 3 months to really, really get those habits established in the first place. So as I go through this session today, if you would like a copy of anything, I have a couple of handouts, let's call them, or basically like a printout of the main topics that we're talking about. Please send me a message or send me an email at crystalmermaidhealing@gmail.com, and I will send those documents over to you. In the subject, just put RePHresh, and we'll get those over to you so that you can have your own tools. So the first handout, if we want to call it that, is about just reminding us to be consistent, not perfection. So we're going to go over those tools together. And now that you've started this journey, here are some of the things that we're going to focus on in terms of practicing that consistency. So let's start with goals. Goals need to be, if you want to call them that, goals or intentions or your action plan, need to be something, number one, that is sustainable and realistic. And ideally, you want to be able to measure it. So, from point A to point B, how have you improved over time in that goal? So also that reality, something that's achievable. Realistic. We don't want to set ourselves up for failure. We also don't want to be lazy, but there are so many areas in between laziness and unrealistic that we can set our goals in or set our intentions in. And by tracking them, having a journal, having whatever it is, we can see over time how things are changing. So that when you get frustrated, a few weeks into doing something different, you may not have an awareness yet of how your life has changed. And sometimes seeing it written down can help you just kind of reinforce, oh, wow, okay, I really have been making some changes. Other times, in terms of physical health, we can sometimes use journaling, food journaling, or physical activity journaling to identify areas that might need improvement or could easily be adjusted to make for more nourishing lifestyle practices. So make sure you have a plan along with those goals. And in that plan, just understand, bullet points, how you're going to get there. It's easier to get somewhere when you have a map. So make a roadmap for yourself. A detailed one if you'd like, a broad one if you'd like, of where you're going with your goals and your intentions. What is, you may not even know yet, and this might be something to explore. What is your ultimate outcome of certain actions? Why are you looking to do certain things? For example, some people say, oh, I want to lose 10 pounds. Well, why do you want to lose 10 pounds? Is it, are they outside external forces? Is it an internal pressure on yourself? Is it a health-related issue? Because that alone, in terms of what the motivation is behind your intentions and your goals, can really make a difference in how you move forward with them, how quickly you progress, and how strongly you desire to progress forward with them when you really understand why you're doing something. Be patient with yourself. Don't be hard on yourself when it comes to haltering points or it comes to challenges. Just be patient. Don't be lazy, but be patient with yourself. Know that every minute is a new minute to improve and a new minute to do something different, say something different, feel something different, something better, something that's more nourishing for your life. Ask for help if you think you need help. That's why I'm here. That is why I went to school for 7 years of my life, so that I could offer professional expertise in this area. So if you need help and you think I might be a person who could help you, just let me know and we will examine what the next steps are to take in terms of that help. That opens me up to just discuss. This group is a place for personal stories to be shared, experiences to be shared. I want us to be encouraging each other. This is not a competition of any sort. This is a free creative expression zone while also nourishing. So if there's, I'm not necessarily just not a big fan of arguing, but healthy debate is important. And chances are, if you have questions about controversial issues or whatever they are, other people do too. So bring things up, explore things organically as they happen, but also do it with respect, always. Just asking that. But this is a private group, so the only people seeing this information are also in the group with you. It's not publicly displayed, so don't worry about that. But if you have very specific personal things that you want to discuss in terms of health, lifestyle, and whatnot, just send me a message and we will arrange that to happen. So just finally, in creating consistency and not perfection, sometimes it's okay to give in. To truly establish nourishing lifestyle practices that we can sustain. Life is not about being deprived. It is about moderation. So, for example, food is fuel, but food is also meant to be enjoyed. It's one that people struggle with a lot. We often forget to be mindful because we're enjoying food so much that moderation goes out the window. So that's just an example. But once in a while, it's okay to indulge in a treat. That's why they're called treats. That's why, once in a while, moderation. That's how it works. As long as you get back on path, you can stop to smell the roses. This is a good analogy I like. You can stop to smell the roses anytime you want to, as long as you get back on the path and you keep moving forward. Or in the crystal world, for example, the gemstone mining world, you can stop to look at all the rocks and crystals and gemstones along the path of wherever you are while you're out, as long as you keep moving forward. Get back on the path. Keep moving forward, because eventually the sun's going to go down and you want to get home and it gets cold and you're hungry and all these other things. So just keep that in mind. team support. This is a group. So the importance of team support is something that I just want to go over a little bit. We are all unique, and therefore we have our own unique health goals. So like I mentioned before, rather than compete by any means, I'm here to encourage creativity while being committed to being here with tips and tools and weekly content as part of the team. So to help you keep on track, whatever you need. In creating and establishing nourishing lifestyle practices, you may encounter challenges along the way. Besides being patient, just remember that everybody has their own path to take. Don't compare yourself to anybody else in a negative way or whatever. It's not a competition. There is no comparison. We are all unique. We are all different. It's even hard sometimes to compare, ourselves to ourselves 5 years ago or 10 years ago, because biologically we change, physiologically we change, emotionally we change. So that's an aspect to kind of just learn if that affects you, and then we'll be going through even ways to learn how to let go of that aspect and put the competition with yourself even behind, so that you can bring forth more creativity. That's what we're going with. And this group is designed to create a space of support throughout this whole journey. Be open to allowing different viewpoints and perspectives related to similar challenges that you might be having, and also related to progress. Just be open. We're here to learn, and we're here to grow from one another along the way. All right, so part of the program, every week there's going to be a mantra, and as you may or may not be able to guess, this week's mantra is strive for consistency, not perfection. Take time, repeat this mantra to yourself every day if you like, and build. Keep this as part of your mantra over the next 12 weeks, and we're going to build upon it. We're also going to reinforce it. One of the handouts that I have is a commitment contract. If you so desire, this is a commitment to yourself. It's not to me, it's not to any other human, it's to yourself. I have something that you can, I sent email to you, look at it. It's just something for awareness. And it can help you set goals or set intentions around what it is that you are committing yourself to in order to establish nourishing lifestyle practices. So let me know if you're interested in that. That is the commitment contract along with your weekly mantra. And every single week that will be available, anytime that will be available. So finally, at the end of each week, there is a self-assessment. If you would like to take a few minutes every week and reflect back over the past week's goals that you might have set for yourselves, accomplishments that you might have had, or challenges that you might be experiencing, I have a form, again, that you can use to assess yourself. Basically, looking at what successes did I have? What challenges did I have? Did I make any changes to my lifestyle? For example, I packed lunch. I brought my own lunch with me. Every, 3 out of 5 days, I brought lunch to work with me rather than eating lunch out somewhere. It's an easy change or something like that. So just to give you an example, less soda, less sugary beverages, cutting down on unhealthy snacks, more physical activity. Those are all things that we might set as goals. or find as challenges, or we may even find ourselves accomplishing things like that along the way. So these are tools for reinforcement, tools for reinforcing, establishing those healthy lifestyle practices. So this week, what is the exercise that I want you to try? It's called the ABCs of me. And it's an exercise designed to help you become more conscious and aware of your own thought patterns. So using paper and a pen or a pencil, not a computer, not your phone, using physical paper and pencil if possible, or pen, whatever. Just writing these things down. Grab that out and go through the alphabet, letters A through Z. And with each letter, just let the first word that comes to you from that letter, write it down. Doesn't matter what it is. This isn't for anybody to see except you, but we will be examining a little deeper the words that you write down just on a personal basis. So it's a fun exercise, okay, A through Z. So write them down. And then just sit there when you have a few minutes quietly with yourself and go through the letters. A, awareness, apple. Okay, I'm going to stop there because I don't want to put any, I don't want to put any words in your head. So take some time, a few minutes from now or whenever, the next week, and try this exercise out. And even, when I did the exercise for myself, up to 3 words popped into my head at the same time. So with any given letter, I intuitively felt like I wanted to write up to 3 words sometimes. So I did. Doesn't matter what they are. Again, we're going to examine these words, and that's where the extra fun is going to come in. But if you happen to notice just as you're doing it, patterns that show up or something, just take note. We are very first and foremost trying to create more self-awareness and consciousness. So there you go. That's the exercise. And I'm calling it the ABCs of me. And that's because from the letter A through Z, we're kind of exploring our unconscious, subconscious thoughts. And then going to dive a little deeper into that and see if it leads us anywhere. That's what we can do. It's the best we can do. So any questions or comments, please leave them here. And I will be checking in throughout the next week to see what you guys have to say about this video. And if you have any questions, like I said, please, if you would like the handout, send me an email or a message, and I will make sure to get those over to you. Thank you for joining me. I am aiming to keep these live Q&As and weekly topic discussions on Thursdays for now at and around 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So if you are able to join me live, that's great. If not, the video is going to be posted here for the next 12 weeks. So take your time, be patient, be consistent. Don't worry about perfection. Thank you for joining me. I hope you have an absolutely wonderful, beautiful evening. Until I see you next time, aho.